we have the next speaker, Suresh Shanmugamji. Suresh Shanmugamji has 22 years plus experience in agricultural sector with specialization in agribusiness management. Mr. Suresh is currently associated with Ernst & Young LLP as a manager in agriculture and social sector advisory and is an expert in agri-marketing and operations. He has also extended incubation support to several agri-startups, adapt in managing top line and bottom line of business, ensuring social impact. He has hands-on experience in the areas of sustainable agricultural practices, social entrepreneurship, unique rural distribution model, and incubating village-level entrepreneurs to access sustainable products, services, advisories to small and marginal farmers, working with people's institutions, collective farming and institutional marketing and group income generation activities. So may I request Suresh Shanmugamji to present his session on creating drip to market agro corridor for reducing water footprints in agriculture and double farmers income through innovative agro marketing model. Suresh ji, may I request you to present in 15 minutes, please. Over to Suresh, please.
Thank you, sir, and the team. Good evening to all. I'm Suresh. I'm the project manager of the DMAC. And I'm here to share the experience of our, implementing one of the biggest affordable irrigation project on behalf of Government of Karnataka. Also, I wish to also again share, instead of only the rosy pictures of the project, also I want to share the fundamental field issues and experience in the field and as an institution, and how we solved it. And as you all know about the Ramtal irrigation project, is one of the biggest affordable irrigation project, and it's having around 15,000 farmers and 60,000 acres, and it's been accessed with all the affordable irrigation infrastructures. So the whole project is again called as the Ramtal drip irrigation project, and whereas it's been again funded by ABGNL and also Department of Agriculture, and the whole areas is around 60,000 acres, and it's been again segmented into the eastern package and western package. So I want to again share, it's from this Almaty, the reservoir, the irrigation water has been again sucked into the suction well and to the jack well and the pump house, and it's been accessed to the irrigation to the around 15,000 farmers. So as of like Ramtal also in Karnataka, apart from the Ramtal also you have Singatallur, Savanur and Koppal and also in Shegan, and whereas now in Ramtal it's only operational. On the whole it's again covering around 1.5 lakh farmers and 5 lakh hectares. It will be completely accessed with affordable irrigation infrastructures. Which I mean to say is drip irrigation and also sprinkler irrigation. See, the objective of the whole project is the DMAC, as you know, the first alphabet is on the D, is again the drip and access to the market and agriculture, and everything is under a corridor approach. So the farmer will be again facilitated the holistic cycle from seed to harvest, post-harvest, and also supporting him in the forward linkage. So the farmer as an epicenter in the center, both the forward linkage and the backward linkage, how it's been again facilitated. So the objective is how really to make farmer to rise and quality produce, and how the farmers will be access to the irrigation, the focus on the forward linkage and backward linkage, and also how we are going to support with other ancillary infrastructure of harvesting and again post-harvesting infrastructures. So all those things will be again holistically addressing the socio-economic well-being of the farming community. That's the objective of the DMAC. So as I was again sharing, 60,000 acres around 24,000 hectares. It's been segmented into the east package and the west package. And whereas the primary beneficiaries are the farmers which is 15,000 farmers, have been segmented into 51 societies. And the societies also, we attempted to also form the farmers producer organization. That is the primary beneficiary segment. And from again, Government of Karnataka, as you know, it's been again funded by the Department of Water Resources, which is again Krishna Bhagya Chala Nigam Limited, CNNL and KNNL. And no, ADA is in charge of the society and institutional approaches, and whereas no, and again, Department of Agriculture and Department of Horticulture has been also access to the project to again enable the productivity enhancement to the farming community. And other the institutional service providers, as you know, the irrigation partners who had been for the past 5 years in the project in implementing the irrigation infrastructures, and also no, and the objective of the DMAC is to really bring in the private firms by which no, the farmers will be able to sell the produce. I mean, by which no, the increase in the income will be attained. And also, as I said, the backward linkage, also certain input companies will be access to the farmers, by which no, the farmers are being accessed with the superior quality seeds, the seedlings, fertilizers, and other things. And also for agronomic operations and the harvesting, post-harvesting, and for all those things, the financial facilitation also should be provided, by which the farmers have been accessed with all those infrastructures. And other technical partners are again World Bank, and they have been supporting the project from the first day. And again, ALMI is in charge of again institutionalizing and again capacity building the farmers, and the academic institutions like the agriculture universities and horticulture universities are on board to support the farmers on the productivity enhancement. So it's something like it is not a single again department. It is something I mean, in a holistic way, the farmer socio-economic well-being have to be attained, by which no, Government of Karnataka in an integration with the private firms and also irrigation partners and technical partners have been supporting the project for a while. So you'll be able to see, I mean, what are all the components, the civil and engineering, components, no? I mean, directly from the Alamati reservoir, the water has been pumped, and so you'll be able to see the civil and engineering. And with the sumpos and pumpos, no, it will be again pumped in. And from there, it will be going to the zonal components. You'll be able to see, I mean, zone wise, one zone is 500 hectares. So all these the zonal components will be there in the 500 hectares to again ensuring, I mean, availability of irrigation water. And the field components, as you know, I mean, irrigation infrastructures, no, the MI. So the first thing is, I mean, the drip system, and also no, this automatically, the whole system has been again automated. And also, apart from irrigation, to really enhance the productivity, the fertigation is also an important component. So the field components has been under the farmer's control. So civil and electrical components are with ABGNL, and the zonal components are under the control of irrigation companies. The field components are with the control of the farmers, and we, the DMAC, the drip to market agro corridor, are being again in charge of how to facilitate the forward and backward integration to the farmers. So the farmers companies will be able to see the farmers and institutional approach and all those things. So yeah, so what exactly is that innovative extension approach? Or again, make this project really successful. So if you're able to see here, as I was also again sharing you, the 15,000 farmers, they federated into the 51 societies. And so also I wish to share here, I mean, what exactly the limitations and what exactly the field issues we encounter. So the first thing is, I mean, rather than the institutional approach and sensitizing the farmers of the irrigation infrastructures and again capacity building the farmers, the first, it all happened in first executing the irrigation component. So here we felt that one small hindrance or again the lacuna the farmers are not able to understand the importance of the irrigation infrastructure. So what happened here is, I mean, farmers, rather than appreciating the irrigation infrastructure, they again, no, I mean, the access to the irrigation to all the farmers, 15,000 farmers, and all those things, we again encountered certain field issues. So with how we solve that field issues, I wish to articulate here again more. So the first, we again, we felt that we have to sensitize the farmers about the project, and so that with that irrigation, I mean, with that innovative extension approach, we felt first we have to segment and we have to focus the society wise. As I was saying, 51 societies on dot. We selected 15 societies first on as the focused approach. Survey number wise, we surveyed the farmers, and we again have communicated the importance of this irrigation, and also we introduced a season by which the extension approach, all this extension approach we are able to again share. So continuous follow-up. I mean, that important things, what we have to observe from here, before initiating the project, any common project, first is sensitizing to the farmers about the project benefits and intended outcome and an output, and how it will be enhancing their BC ratio, and how it will have an implication on their ROIs. So all those things, first we have to again sensitize the socio and economical indicators to the farmers first, and we should take the farmers from the day one. Okay, that is the important lesson, what I want to share here. I mean, in this experience. So it had continuous focus on that weekly trainings and monthly trainings, and periodically farmers extension approach. And we also again we again said that one of the best approaches, the farmer to farmer extension approach. So we invited farmers from the other parts of Karnataka who have experience in horticulture and olericulture, and we again said that you have to come here, you have to be with our farmers, you have to again demonstrate, rather than a scientist again coming and demonstrating for half an acre or the 1 acre. We invited farmers from other parts of Karnataka. We really again encourage them to invest. So farmers from other part of Karnataka in our area in Ramtal, where predominantly it is in the rain-fed area, and it is again the Rabi season and Kharif season. It's only the chickpea, red gram, and sorghum are the important crops. And if you want to introduce any new horticulture crops and other things, first the farmers have to be sensitized. So, I mean, rather than again saying about the importance of the crop, we felt that an experienced farmer should be demonstrating economically to the farmers, okay, about the BC ratio. So in that case, it is not we only introduced a single crop, we have introduced a season to the farmers. How? So in the Rabi and in Kharif, we segmented for the red gram farmers. We again sensitize the farmers. Here you see, there is an opportunity for you. Instead of the single crop, the red gram, okay, in the Rabi and our extended Rabi summer, you have an opportunity to really cultivate short duration horticulture crops. So by which we extended the farmers from other parts of Karnataka. Now around 75 acres, something around, the farmers from other parts of Karnataka, they have invested and they are again cultivating, by which the farmers from the Ramtal are again visibly seeing and exchanging the ideas. This I see as a very innovative extension approach. The farmer to farmer, it is not only something a half an acre demonstration plot, it is something like at 75 acres. Farmers from other areas, they are in our area, they are now cultivating, by which our farmers are seeing eye to eye. I mean, again, completely, the day to day they are seeing, and finally, also they'll be able to see that economical. So by which, I want to share. So for the existing crops, the red gram and chickpeas and all those things, and we are able to again sensitize the 500 farmers about importance of the market linkage, and by which the farmers have really sold the existing commodities of the 500 metric tons, and also we are able to introduce a short duration horticulture crop. We again invited an investor who invested on the horticulture nursery, by which in that ecosystem, around 4 crores worth of existing crop. We again invited an entrepreneur and investor who is also again been invited for the triple P, the public-private partnership integrated agriculture development, by which the farmers will be benefited from end to end, seed to harvest, post harvest. It will be completely taken care of by an entrepreneur and an investor. So in that, that horticulture nurseries and establishing a processing unit for the existing crops, all those things have happened, and the private companies, we again searched around 70 private companies, and that in which we again we handpicked the 15 companies by which how they have signed an MOU, and they will be directly procuring the produce from the farmers. Yeah, the recently, I wish to share about 4 important the triggers which have happened. As you know, the existing crops are only the red gram and the Bengal gram and sorghum. So for which, as I again said you initially, the societies are not been activated really. So to really activate the societies, we again segmented societies to be an FIGs, farmers interest group, by which we federated the FIGs to form an FPO. In that case, around 14 water user societies are federated and they formed an FPO. And this FPO is again taking care of both forward and backward integration. To be in short, in 7 months of the inception of the FPO, they are able to make that sales outturn of 2.65 crores by facilitating forward and backward integration. And as I said you, this is completely an area of the rainfed initially, and only the chickpea and the red gram sorghum are the crops. To introduce the horticulture crops, the first important thing is access to the healthy seedlings. So by which we invited a private entrepreneur who invested around 16 lakhs, and he established a horticulture nursery, by which we'll be able to again cater a requirement of 5,000 acre in year. So it should be replicated further, because since it is around 60,000 acres, okay, how we have initiated all these efforts and understanding the success and failures, it will be replicated further. And as I said, it's only the rabi is a predominantly crop, and 80% of the sowing will be on, and around 15 to 20% will be on again tariff. Because of this irrigation, we introduced a season called again the rabi summer, where the red gram farmers have been sensitized to hope for short duration horticulture crop. In that, we again piloted for around 400 acres, and 7 horticulture crops and 3 agriculture crops have been introduced. And we cannot abandon the existing crops. To again to get an incremental income on the existing crops under the triple P IAD, we also had an investor to invest around 4 crores. That whole project is around 14 crores. In that, investor has already invested 4 crores, by which he has already established a processing unit in the DMAC, the proximity area of around 15 kilometers. So by which we will be able to say that 70 to 80% of the existing agriculture commodity, okay, the red gram and also Bengal gram, okay, could be absorbed by this processing unit, by which an increase in incremental income of around 17 to 20% will be very easily achieved. Yeah, so by which the private sector alliance, finance facilitation, all those things are facilitated. So these are all the initiatives in the rabi summer, and we again invited our partners, again KBGNL and Agriculture Department, who are again recently involved and in establishing all those things. And as I said, the farmers from other parts of Karnataka is in our Ramtal area, and they are again building the capacity of our farmers and enabling farmer to farmer extension. So this is again about the rabi summer and institutional approach, and you have to see there, and an important this unintended outcome. This is the rabi summer season is completely off season. in this off season, by introducing a season called Rabi Summer, also an employment opportunity to farm workers have been also enabled. Now, no, in the season to be piloting, we introduced 400 acres. By seeing the success, in successive years, easily 4,000 to 5,000 acres will be coming under Rabi Summer. At that time, you have to imagine how much, employment opportunity will be provided for the farm workers, even in the off season. This is about agro nursery and how it will be diversified to again double the farmers. And I was again saying about the processing unit, no? Investor established, and so that it's again benefiting our DMAP farmers for existing the agriculture commodity. And some of the photos and how it's been farmers have been institutionalized, how it has been sensitized, because 15,000 farmers is not really the joke. 15,000 farmers institutionalizing and building their capacities and farmer to farm, all those things have been some of the photos on that. And and how we have been the society meetings and society activation, and how and the very important thing is again here, all the agriculture department, all those agriculture department, horticulture department, and KBG initially they are again they have been implementing in the silos their programs. Because of the DMAP, all they have been integrated to form a task force by which all their programs have been integrated, and it's been holistically benefiting the DMAP farmers. And these are the photos how we enable the forward linkages and also partnership opportunities. Triple PIAD, and we're inviting also private firms. This is in short about the DMAP. I wish to share.
Yeah, thank you, Suresh. Are there any questions?
An interesting question from Mr. Anis. What was the approach and attitude of traditional farmers towards micro irrigation systems? Whether traditional farmers are accepted or how it is like that, he's asking. Mr. Anis from Anis Mohammed is asking.
Oh yeah, see, it is it is really a very good question, because the farmers there are again the farmers there. One is purely the rainfed farmers, and also some farmers are again resource-rich farmers. They're having their own irrigation infrastructure. So the primarily, the rainfed farmers, the one season a year they are happy, and where irrigation farmers, they want only the flood irrigation to be done. So it's something like a behavioral change which we have to inculcate, and we again said because of the MI, because of this micro irrigation, how the productivity will be enhanced and all those things, we again said, we shared, we experimented, and also we bought the farmers from other parts of Karnataka. We had him to be here, they are cultivating here, by which farmers are seeing the results. So it is not a single day approach, it is a process, it is a transformation really. So it took nearly around 14 to 15 months to convert around 70 to 20% of the farmers by saying that, hey, there is a prospect in this. So successively, the farmers will be able to see the results.
Yeah, another question. What is the approximate value of this project, or any pilot type of automatic IoT or artificial intelligence system, anything installed like that? There is another question.
No, artificial intelligence not being installed, but IoT, it's been completely automated project. Also, I wish to share, it's been completely automated, but also again, since the behavioral change and other things, initially farmers had certain hindrances. They want to see the flood irrigation, so that they'll be again they'll be removing the pipes, they'll be again going for the flood irrigation, by which the other farmers will be affected. All those things are the limitations which we experience. So it's a process here. It's a process, but as again sharing you, it's a fully automated. It's a fully automated project. But there is no artificial intelligence, or there is no something like a sensor based on field capacity, wilting point, sensor based. No.
Okay. Another question. Plastic creates environmental impact. How are you dealing with that? especially micro irrigation, when you are putting a lot of plastic, you are putting either. There is another question from Dr. Vijay Kumar. How you are dealing with this plastic waste?
No,
It is asking.
yeah. See, plastics, as you say, every 5 years it will be having the wear and tear. I do agree that. Okay. And again, since no, it is only on the protective irrigation for existing crop, and we are only introducing short duration agriculture, horticulture crop, by which see, the environmentally it will not be affecting, because the plastics will be again safely removed after 5 years. So, I mean, as of now, there will be again little wear and tear. I do agree that, but will not have any big environmental implications. If you are going for, the high sort of inorganic fertilizers, or again, polythene mulches and all those things, will have implications. But we are not encouraging all those things. The polythene mulches and other things, we are not encouraging it. It's only for MI purpose. We are again encouraging irrigation, and we are again strictly we are encouraging the farmers on LISA and the sustainable agriculture practices.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sasdar. Yeah.